Week 13 in the NFL here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we're talking right now with returning guest Joe Duffy. I call him OC for Original Kappa. He is from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe, thanks for being back with us this week.
Peter, this OC is very happy to be back.
All right, before we start talking about Cleveland, Oakland, pimp your website for a bit.
It's OffshoreInsiders.com, and got my start many years ago in the industry when I was on the score phones. In fact, two of the people that I trained under were Hank Stram, yes, the Hall of Fame coach. He did a 900 number through us for several years, learned about handicapping football through him, and legendary announcer Ray Scott, the guy who announced the Green Bay Packers for years. He also did a 900 number through us, and I learned a lot about handicapping football games through those gentlemen, and have been in this business ever since, about a quarter century, as I like to say, ever since I graduated college. I actually started working for Dallas Sports when I was in college, and since the day that I graduated college, my full-time income has been picking games and betting games.
Unbelievable, super impressive. And as I said with our first call, you know, what our viewers mostly care about is giving good analysis and winners this year, and you've even delivered on that. So thanks so much for being a regular guest with us. Cleveland, Oakland, line is pick 'em. What I've seen, the line didn't come out until late. The total is 45. I guess a lot of this hinges on the health of Brandon Weeden. Oakland, you know, that's pretty much set in stone that they suck in general. But, you know, maybe they can pull out a win here. What do you think? Where do you think their value is?
Well, they actually do. This is one of those games where I'm going to use both old-fashioned proven handicapping techniques and modern-day handicapping techniques. You know, I read Chad Millman a lot on ESPN, and I like him. My one criticism is he falls too in love with these mathematical formulas where somebody comes up with their own exclusive mathematical formula, and they're very good, but you still got to combine it with some old-fashioned stuff. And one of those time-proven old-fashioned techniques is human nature. You got to handicap human nature. Cleveland is coming off a big win last week against Pittsburgh. Obviously, Pittsburgh was beaten up, but they beat the Steelers. They're hated rivals. Finally, now they're traveling across the country. I even measured it out, 2,000 something miles, and they're playing on the road. Obviously, their star quarterback is a rookie, star running back is a rookie, so it's a big letdown situation for them, to say the least. But as far as the modern-day stuff, I have something that I came up with, which is called performance gap analysis. Now, if you want a more detailed explanation, if you just Google performance gap analysis offshore insiders, that will explain it. But basically, my research has shown and experience has shown that the top lead indicators, and it's based on a business principle, would be yards per rush, yards per pass, and yards per play relative to what the team's opponents normally give up. Lag indicators are turnovers and yards per point. And yards per point is just that. You take the total number of yards divided by points. Basically, if you have a low score, it means you've been very efficient. If you have a high number on defense, that's good. You're forcing teams to waste points. But the difference is that we have found out that the turnovers and yards per point are more a result of good fortune. There's obviously skill involved, but in short, let me give you an illustration. Let's say on defense that you've been able to force a lot of turnovers inside your own 20-yard line or force teams to kick short field goals. That, according to our research, shows that you've been pretty fortunate. You've been able to dodge the bullet. And our performance gap analysis is which combines the lead indicators and the lag indicators to find out which teams are truly been playing well and which teams have had a result of good fortune. Our lead indicators tell us that Cleveland and Oakland are fairly close, but Cleveland's benefited from good fortune this year. And last week was a perfect example. Most fans would consider winning ugly when you turn the ball over and escape a win. From a handicapping standpoint, I consider what Cleveland did last week winning ugly. They had a +7 turnover ratio, but they had to sweat the win out until the end. So that tells me they were benefited from good fortune last week. So in short, our performance gap analysis, and if you want a more detailed explanation, Google it, but our performance gap analysis, in addition, our old-fashioned handicapping, saying that Cleveland's in a tough letdown situation here, says, of the two ugly teams, I'm going to go with Oakland.
Wow. This is one of the shittiest matchups you've ever covered with us, but that was one of the best analysis you've ever given. That was, I hope people, are interested in this matchup enough to watch that. But all those points you just made, we can revisit them in other videos as well with Green Bay Packers and marquee name teams. It'll get maybe more views. But wow, so you like an Oakland here, and so am I. Joe Duffy from Offshore Insiders. Awesome, awesome preview.